Back, friends, part two of How to Upgrade Your Human, live reading and commentary. This is my book. It's out now. You can upgrade consciousness. Hi, hope we're back. This is a live reading of How to Upgrade Your Human. My book, which you can find on my website, supports the show, supports free education, my nonprofit, dedicated to changing education, jobs, commerce, governance, mental health, with the use of the destigmatization of plant medicine, spirituality, and modern science. So, yes, let me know if you want to see the book or my face. So, yeah, we're going to get into the reading here. Contains all the resources that I use to awaken my consciousness, all of the juicy exercises within yoga that directly upgrade your intelligence instead of just stretching the body. Again, I hope the connection is okay with you guys. Let me know. You can find out how to do that all here. Like the actual modern science behind what our ancestors were discovering on a subjective level. Hey everyone, hey Llama, Todd, I don't know if I said hey. Hey everyone else, I'm waving to you. How you doing? Hope you can hear. So this is on the neurology of identity and beliefs. Let's see how we'll sit here. Welcome. Thanks, Royal. Hi, Todd. Thank you for saying that. Yes. Good to know. Okay. So who we believe ourselves to be and what we really are is comprised of the sweeping gamut of our experiences, emotional impacts accumulated, and anything else in life. Information enters the body, and our organism reacts to that with what its set of tools and emotional processing capabilities at the time of impact. Trauma impacts our physiology and creates whatever defense it can against that emotion and the behavior that would lead to re-wounding. This tension can be carried into adulthood and directly forms one's overall demeanor. The tension also limits one's ability to progress in the relevant emotional processing and further spiritual revolution. So, we can have a traumatic impact in childhood that creates the beliefs that we carry into adulthood, and parsing into that is one of the main difficulties of life. So, therapy and meditation came from the same place. Theravada Buddhism, this is the practice of the mind, parsing into it, rewiring it, understanding ourselves through observation, and then taking our insights into the real world and developing tools of mind such as the centeredness of breath and paying attention to subconscious automatic reactions that do not serve us. This looks like protecting our heart, fighting for our love, understanding why we may be holding back our ability to pursue our lives or our dreams. And then opening the chakras, right? Speaking your word, opening the throat chakra, not being as quiet with what you want to speak, what's inside of you creatively. This is our access point to the 3D representation of information, or an ethereal concept that we have in our mind. So this is the truth of ourselves. The truth of ourselves that we have trouble admitting, addressing, and reintegrating. This is where we see the negatively oriented societal matrix, a mass neurosis predicated on pain. Asking the world to seek enlightenment is asking billions of people to radically address their behavior, admit they've been wrong to the world and themselves, and endeavor boldly to ground that psychology. So adhering to principles of kindness and service and filling your cup up first before going out into the world, because think about it like this: if you're operating at 60% cup, you're only able to give people who you're trying to give 60% of yourself. But when you fill yourself up to 100, you spill over and you're like 110, 120, 130% of yourself. You give more because you served yourself first. That's the flow of energy that we're talking about. And it is simple, right? In our minds, we might say but, and but is the first word that activates the ego or the shadow, whatever you want to call this. Oh yeah, all this truth that I know, all this wisdom and advice that I espouse to others that I don't listen to. Yeah. Or but I can't do that because this life circumstance. But when advising, you don't imply any life circumstance to who you're advising. You're talking to their heart. You're talking to their deeper self. So do that for yourself. And this is an interesting concept. Whatever we say to ourselves in our mind, it's almost identical. It practically is identical to creating someone in the room and having them say that to you, and you fully believing it. So think about that. Whatever you say to yourself in your mind, you're creating another entity to tell you that into your ear, and you're believing it. So you're empowering that thought. And that's the center of all suffering is empowering improper thoughts. And it's okay, and you shouldn't feel guilty, and there's no shame in it. We're humans, and we're here to evolve. So self-blame is actually trying to punish yourself into changing. And you can't punish yourself into changing because you can't damage what needs healing. Yes. So therapy and meditation come from the same place, Theravada Buddhism. These were the practices of parsing into our minds, our neurology, and our psychology through self-inquiry and provocative philosophical questioning, directly addressing the conceptual landscapes found in the 3D architecture of the very neurology that animates our existence and perceptions of reality. The physio-psychological movement of acceptance physically releases tension and allows room for transformative insight. Once healed and foundationally integrated, one begins to operate at higher levels of happiness, emotionality, and general intelligence. So becoming more loving makes you more intelligent. Caring for yourself, caring for others, and doing the right thing makes you more intelligent because you're congruent with the generative and intelligent force of the universe. And just our individual life is nothing compared to the grandiosity of the universe. So rewiring a belief is parsing into ourselves deeply to find every justification and difficulty we have, and integrating the profound insight found underneath our habitual misperceptions. Integration is mindfulness, the mindfulness of the concepts and philosophies we wish to adhere to and experience for long enough to actually witness and be them. A small active meditation practice can help you get that feeling for what you're looking for. Catching and replacing is the concept of catching subconscious, inappropriate reactions before it automates behavior, and replacing it with the wisdom that you are trying to establish foundationally. So we know that we're doing things wrong to ourselves, for ourselves. We have to first accept and acknowledge that it's a problem, that we can fix it, remove guilt and shame, and then transcend the urge of what's trying to get us to do that false thing again. So this is where our will is strengthened. Our will is strengthened through the utilization of it, actually applying the wisdom that we already have to our behavior. And that's what creates the scientific effect of change. And you cannot possibly comprehend who you will be in the future because you cannot ruminate it in your mind currently. You don't have the neurological experience of the memory or of the situation of being that thing. You have a vague guess, a trajectory, and within that vague guess or trajectory, you aim, you gain a result, and you reorient. And eventually the result is positive enough to cause a happy emotion inside of you, to feel a sense of fulfillment. Fulfillment would not be possible if you didn't have the context of being unable to do something for a long amount of time and trying to transcend that on a daily basis, putting in the reps, putting in the time. So again, this is from my book, How to Upgrade Your Human. You can find it on my website. The support directly supports free education and my nonprofit, which is endeavoring to solve critical world problems with minimum viable solutions. So this is the free gardens, this is guerrilla gardening, right? Replanting 1/7 of the lawns in America to produce food to solve world hunger, transforming the education and job situation, how that works together with apprenticeships, and the pursuit of your intuitive creative desire, aka your dreams. So this all goes to that. Thank you. And thank you, Todd. You're sincerely amazing. That means the world to me, my friend. And welcome everyone in. Welcome. It's good to have you here. I see you. Uh, the act of meditation seeks to find the exact mental instant that what you wish to be thinking about or experiencing fades away into senseless ruminations, anxiety, and daydreaming. So there's this moment that you're trying to focus on the breath, right? I'm sitting here meditating. I have ADHD. I can't meditate. This is useless. That's where you're sitting. That's the situation that you're in right now, and that's okay. This is where we start, because meditation isn't fixing the mind and removing ADHD. It's observing the mind the way that it is for us, and in order to make intuitive conclusions about why we are the way that we are, and implement tools of mind that we agree with scientifically or spiritually, so that we can gradually nestle our way into the false psychology that is ruining our ability to create. Creation is the driving force of meaning and purpose. We are the great one creation here to unfold as the beauty of evolution. Thanks, Sean. What's up, Sean? What's up, Jonah? So it's too short to be printed, so it's available as an ebook on my website. Campton for President 2024. We'll have to wait. What is it? Eight more years, and I'll be 35. So 2031. Let's run it. That's an 8 years is enough time to solve education, world hunger, and all of these things. And yes, I endeavor to do this, and no, I cannot do it alone, and I'm not the sole mind that will be attributed to the success of this, but I am trying to do those things. And if you want to help, that'd be cool. Let's work together, guys. Memory problems, verbal memory, and formal thought. No, I've always had a really great memory, so I haven't necessarily done a lot of thinking about that. Okay, so we were talking about, or reading about the exact mental instant that we lose ourselves in meditation. So we're paying attention to the breath. We're desperately trying to focus on it to achieve the claimed benefits of meditation on my mental health. And there's a moment that we notice that we've been thinking about something else instead of meditating. We just suddenly realize that we've lost focus on the breath. We're no longer trying to meditate. We go, dang it. Oh, I suck at meditation. But this is the critical point that creates this delta between people who understand meditation and spirituality and those who don't. And that is that the point of meditation is to seek that moment, and instead of getting frustrated and quitting, maintaining resolve and gently returning to just the simple mental act of focusing on the breath. So it's might sound complicated, but it's the key moment, the very gentle noticing of the instant that you have lost the meditation object is what creates the neurology of being able to meditate. So I'm meditating. I'm like your meditative ability is going up like this on the chart. Your skill, right? You lose the object. You're slowly falling down. Oh, I noticed, and then you go back up because you're now focused on the breath. You're actually lulling the body into a meditative state. That's what the focus on the breath is doing. So we notice that moment over and over again, and then the next time we begin meditation, we're up here. It's all cumulative, and it's in the brain. It's a veritable effect that you can create in your brain. We've done scans of this. So just you can even imagine this. This is what helped me in the beginning. It was realizing that everything I'm trying to conquer in my mind is neurocircuitry. So that means it's just objective architecture in my mind. That means my emotions are just the response to this information. And I can increase the wisdom in that response, and I can make it who I am. So the moment that we've lost this object and gently return is the moment that it is like the bicep curl of meditation. Now, if you want to stay liking meditation in this lens, only do it for 3 minutes. Because in that 3 minutes, you're just looking for those mental moments. And then when you go out into the day, you're looking for those moments again when you're trying to change who you are. You're looking for that awareness behind behind the mental projections, right? You're building a distance between you and them. Before you automatically react, you are awareness, and then you sort of have this room to react. So that's the general essence of spirituality. And spirituality comes with spiritual practice. Okay. So the mere invocation of a mental concept fires the corresponding neurology and strengthens its dominance in your daily activities. The less a circuit is used, the more it atrophies and becomes replaced. This is a slow shift that becomes exponential the more you remain mindful. Eventually, difficult information will be processed several orders of magnitude more quickly, thus quickening the pace of your evolution. There's less in the way of truth. In a way, we have to prove ourselves wrong through disciplined and intentional experiences. We must literally witness information that is incongruent with our limiting beliefs. This requires us to feel the sensations of fear, frustration, and futility, yet continue on longer than we have in the past. This is to achieve successful information on the other side, which will then prove you wrong. Like, no, you don't actually suck. You just had to try a little bit harder. So that entire narrative will then collapse. It won't actually be prevalent in your reality. Just like you don't know what it's like to not be able to speak or walk. You can't really remember the inability to do that in most cases. And that's everything that we are. So unless we generate awareness, we will never change. And unless we accept what we find, we will never change, because we can't reiterate or evolve if we're not using the next best information. And living as our past self is operating under outdated information. Who we are overall is way different than who we were in the memories that we continually use to create an identity. So we have to think about it in this way to sort of like jujitsu our psychology into understanding. Magic plant medicine is great for this, as it forcefully raises your intelligence and emotionality to a level beyond daily functioning, providing an experience of the truth and validity of intentional growth and possibility. So there's an image here. These are beliefs. Zoom far enough into your head, and this is where you get the subjective sensation of believing something or saying something, right? Think of an apple. If you're thinking of an apple, it's probably this more dominant neurology, right? It's a more vivid image. And then if you're ruminating over here, you're trying to find something. You're trying to find connections. This is where we meditate, right? We sit with a question, and it slowly kinks together, and boom, it understands. Your brain understands. That's where it's happening. I don't know if there was another image here. Oh yeah, just the next chapter. These pockets of synapses release chemicals commensurate to their size, thus being more dominant in the totality of our subjective experience of our chemistry and psychology. Focus on creating positive mental habits. Of course, right? So eventually it just becomes who you are. It's not that interesting, right? Because it's not the fix, and it won't always feel profound. There's always new things to seek to get higher levels of happiness, I guess. And then I guess, let's see. Where do we go from there? Namaste, Disc. Absolutely, Vasco. Rebecca, good to see you again. And Llama. And everyone else here. It's good to see you. Again, this is from my book, How to Upgrade Your Human. You can find it on my website. Directly supports me in my effort to provide free education and change education by destigmatizing plant medicine and getting rid of the regurgitation system, which is the current education system. And we will replace that with apprenticeships and the flourishment of the innovative human spirit. something like that. I'll get it down. But yeah, please. Okay, we can end on cannabis, and I don't know if it's gonna block this, but cannabis has long been used for spiritual, social, and creative development. Our friend Jesus would use hashish, yoga, and mystical practices to achieve his profound level of loving integration and freedom from the small self, which is just identifying with the totality of your organism instead of all of the universe working together to create you, which it did, and you're the newest thing in the universe. Literally everything came together to create you. And you are that special, and if you haven't embodied that feeling of specialness, then I'd like to offer a hug. From our favorite artists, philosophers, teachers, saints, and more, we see the usage of cannabis to attain profound levels of creativity and divine inspiration. Cannabis's effects follow the flow of our intentions and whatever might be lurking in our subconscious mind. If we are typically anxious, that would be heightened. However, this is one of the more curious medicinal effects of the plant. These difficulties come to the surface as a sort of training ground to hone our intentions and understand the root of our anxieties and misperceptions. When we meditate intentionally under the effects of cannabis, we can more powerfully transform our mind alongside its neurogenetic effects, i.e. creating more neurological connections in the brain. The diminishing in gray matter that is typically associated with the overconsumption of cannabis is actually a misunderstanding, right? When utilized properly and in small doses, you actually increase gray matter and white matter in the brain. We begin to literally cultivate the neurology of mental fortitude. The development of a cannabic spirituality is very personal. Dosage, terpenes, timing, and more play into your overall experience. The very best way to begin is a small dosage during a mildly active morning routine and intentional creativity or self-development throughout the day. This will create more permanent, everlasting structures and healthy usage habits inside of the body. Yogic stretching and breathwork very powerfully magnify the effects of cannabis and a deeper level of postural attainment can be found. Indicas for body work, sativas for mind work, and hybrids for a general daily vitamin type experience. The more we use the substance, the less dopamine our body will create. This is commensurate to our daily dosage. Ever clean your room after partaking? That's the flood of dopamine literally manifesting the subjective sense of motivation. So, yeah, when the more cannabis our body begins to expect, the less dopamine it will create for itself. This is a balancing mechanism rather than something you're permanently altering in your body. So, if you start to lose a sense of motivation on a daily basis, you would want to use less cannabis. Still use cannabis. If you're going to use cannabis, you don't want to quit cold turkey because it'll just mess up your sense of motivation entirely. Either wean yourself off or do just a little bit to get that into action effect. Healthily incorporating cannabis into your spiritual lifestyle can be one of the most powerfully transformative endeavors of your life. We are speeding up the creation of the neurology associated with skills, emotionality, intelligence, creativity, and more. So the stigma is the overconsumption, the casting away of the sometimes genius ideas that are produced under its effects, and so on. And you have to protect these realizations. When they're new, you don't want to share them as much with people because these are opportunities to shun these beliefs into inaction. Somebody, like when you're telling somebody a really great idea or something that you love, they only have 1% of the context of why you love it or whatever, just them saying it. And a really great listener can expand upon that, but they can't love it as much as you love it, and they might, attack it, and it might defeat the idea. But these grand realizations about the nature of the universe may not immediately resonate with everyone, so you have to apply it to your own life to strengthen it enough to be an enigmatic force of it. And then the teaching comes from the silence of its presence inside of you and how you meet the world, and if you choose to communicate it to the proper audience. Something like that. And that's pretty much the end of the book. There's more. There's a guide. There's a meditation guide. There's imagery. We can look at the imagery. So help me help the world, and get my book. So this is us. This is the energy body. Right in these chakras. It's not anime stuff. This is the intelligence of our body. And you can see in, I think it's up here. Yes, this is what we are. Source, the one great everything in infinity, the flower, a petal of the flower of life, which is us, our self, our awareness, or our individual awareness, relationships. And this is the 7 days of the week, the chakra system, the 7 notes in an octave, sacred geometry, numerology. This is everything. These are the patterns that twist up into the higher dimensions and into us, right? Because we are the one great same thing, we are a representation of that. This is the spectrum of human consciousness. This is the intensity of emotions, ideas, the ecstatic force of life. So Jesus was here, right? And like Oprah or like somebody like Gandhi, you have near love, right? Very profoundly developed souls, right? And concepts can be on this scale. So the statement I am is at 1000. It is ultimately true. You are. It's the most provable thing, right? So staying in the I am presence in meditation is like being in enlightenment. The majority of humans on a day-to-day basis are around here. Just average functioning, average intelligence. Einstein was at 499, just before love. This is where spiritual sort of insight starts to happen. Instead of logical 3D thinking, oh, excuse my fingernail, right? Hands in the garden. So, if you get the reference. So, oh my God, I lost my train of thought. So Einstein, this is in this book, Power versus Force, was at 499 because it's just at the precipice of the embodiment of spiritual wisdom, which is where love becomes the answer to everything instead of material achievement. So, yes. And these numbers don't matter. It has nothing to do with vanity. People under the effects of mushrooms are going to be around here. If you're astral projecting and stuff, you're going to be around here during that experience. And our daily endeavors are to try to ground these concepts into our daily life. So the wisdom that the mushroom has within love, we apply to the psychology that we carry on a daily basis, and we slowly work our way up. And it really doesn't matter where you are, because you can fluctuate during the day. You can fluctuate during the experience, or you're just on fire in your own skill. Your emotions are at an all-time high. It's easy to be good. It's easy to be loved. So that's the navigation of this scale. And yoga was the science of cultivating that in the body, making the body feel good to make the mind feel good. All right, so our chemicals influence our psychology influences our chemistry. Awareness is outside of this process, influences it, and is influenced by it. So this is the awareness that we establish our conscious presence in when we sweep away the echelons of anxiety in our mind and reorient that energy towards the thing that we love to create or what we love to experience, which can be the innate beauty of reality, or building relationships, painting, doing whatever, man, just with a good feeling inside. So again, from my book, How to Upgrade Your Human, I highly recommend it. Helps me, helps the nonprofit, helps change education. Yeah. So. Oh, and on that scale, we can go back to looking at the scale if you want to get the context here. And if you've seen my video about the psychic powers and Jesus being a stoner, some of it is satire, okay? Yep. He did use hashish and stuff like that. And then, can I move objects with my mind? No, okay. This requires immense levels of dedication, dedicating your life to these abilities. You're deviating from what the majority of humans believe about the nature of consciousness. You're warping reality to a degree that we call mystical and supernatural. It's not easy. So my shit is like glimpses of telepathy, right? Glimpses of premonitions, dream stuff, out-of-body stuff. Not on a daily basis, right? Because it requires an immense amount of energy. I know I keep harping on that, but so does developing my business, developing what I want to talk about, becoming a man, moving into the world. It requires a lot of energy and focus. So just think about these things when you're thinking about developing the psychic powers, is that it's truly a phenomenal endeavor. And the plant medicines help us do this. Psilocybin and cannabis accelerate this process. It's the intelligence of the earth. It's not an accident that you're literally breathing in a plant and becoming smarter. What is that? What is that, man? It's all chemicals. It's all whatever. But it's your awareness. We're just aware of all those things. Hooray. Okay, so Jesus level, sitting in caves, straight hotboxing a cave, guys, and meditating forever. And then, imagine bringing this to all of humanity at that time, right? And think about this. You can say something cleverly enough to manipulate someone, to control them. And if you use fear, you can control an entire population. So these are the archaic systems of religion and governance that are currently present on our planet. But if you think of the entire context of evolution and you don't put the human on the pedestal of peak evolution, you can see that we're still evolving and we need to figure out how to work with each other. And this is no joke that we're here. It is not a joke. This is real. This is reality. Yeah. Anyway, when the body feels good, the mind feels good, it pushes us into action. We become more ecstatic, vibrant. We're raising our vibe, the intensity of our emotion and our feeling. This is the life that you feel inside of you. Evolution is a quality of infinity. We can only evolve. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, yada yada, but it can collect and evolve. So we are a collection of this energy evolving. It just makes sense. We can't be created or destroyed, but we can collect and evolve. Boom shakalaka, somebody must have put a lime in a coconut because the doctor's here. Oh God, kill me. Okay. Anyway, this is the scientific, what we have in our modern day, the laws of physics and whatever, the electromagnetic spectrum. But this is just a part of the greater band of everything that is. Right? And we are a focused lens of cosmic intelligence. And it's okay. That's okay, guys. No, it's okay. And the fear of death is the acceptance of eternity. Right? An undefined form, pure, raw energy, beginning to take shape as a creation of the manipulation of what is created. That's why our hands are the perfect thing. We can grab, move things. We can make this computer. Our intelligence perfectly can manipulate matter. So this is where our proclivities are, the things that we've learned as an intuitive essence of the drama of all of our lives. And removing the fear of our past lives is realizing that this current life is our next best guess as to how to dwell within eternity. This is just our next best guess who we are right now. And you can say, woe is me, this blows. And yes, it does. And you're totally right. Now I'll give you a high five and a hug. Okay? But contemplating this on a daily basis allows us to cope with that, transcend it, and really be somebody, baby. Yeah, let's go. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yep, so what we eat affects this. What we eat affects the electrical conductivity of our body, therefore our vibe. Whatever, breath work increases the amount of electricity that courses through us. It purifies our nervous system, increases our vibe. And these, I don't know if you can see them, these very fine lines are meridians. These are in our nervous system. This is what conducts the chi, or the energy that we've accumulated. Right? We cannot be destroyed. And, so if you're naturally good at tennis, you probably played a lot of tennis in a past life. Yeah, it's convenient, it makes sense, whatever. Some people are naturally gifted, whatever. But you have to accept who you are to embody the truth, and you can evolve. Maybe you didn't want to live this life to be really great at tennis. Insert other skill or thing you want here. Okay? So, yeah. Body feel good, mind feel good. Mind create idea that motivate undepressed tissue equals satisfying life. When the chakras are fully activated, or you're fully embodying who you want to be at the existential level, everything sort of happens around you naturally, because you're a generative force of love and supported by divine forces of ultimate knowingness. Okay? Not so ambiguous. Okay, so this is from my book, How to Upgrade Your Human. Yes, I'm going to keep saying it. Please help me out and get that thing. And I sincerely hope your dreams come true. I do. There's this desire in your heart that wants to come true, and then part of your mind that has a tough time with that. So whatever's in the way, I wish you aid and healing. Truly. Okay. I will leave off with the secret to the psychic powers, which you will either be able to utilize or not. And that is that it's in the intention. So we think intentions are wiggling our fingers, thinking about something, sort of our ethical orientation, whatever. Our intentions, what we're doing, how to manifest actions. So because we are a unified field of awareness, we're all connected, we're quantumly entangled. That atom way over there affects that atom way over there instantaneously, because it's a field, not a traveling particle. So it's a homogeneous entity rather than the part of the Big Bang exploding, right? Which the Big Bang is a white hole, it's energy, it's light from another universe. Anyway, so you can intend somewhere else. You can move energy somewhere else in this field. The people that you have an emotional connection with, this is stronger, because your atoms are literally more entangled. And energy is emotion in this life. Emotion is the energy of our motion, right? Energy in motion. So the more time you spend with somebody, the more you can sense them and feel them. And you can start working with that intentions, trying to imagine their mind, imagine intending thought into their mind, right? Feel it in your mind first, right? I'm imagining an apple. I'm intending to see an apple. You're doing that in part of your brain. You're moving energy to be able to do that. You can influence another's mind. So both of you need to be, somewhat aware of this concept and skilled to be able to work with that. But what I'm really getting at is that intentions don't have to be local in your environment, because we are a unified field. And these things aren't prevalent, because how crazy is it of a concept to begin talking about that? All people would have to reorient their religion, their understanding of themselves and reality, and they're in oh my God, can I speak? I'm speaking in tongues. Oh my God. It's reinforced by their culture. So you're going to be hard pressed to convince somebody to completely turn around their lives and study all these things. But you can do it yourself with vague experimentation with mushrooms, meditation, spirituality, until you get a result. So you can heal other people with these intentions. Try it on yourself first. You can. I don't know, next time you stub your toe, focus on that area. Focus to the best of your ability what a feeling of healing would feel like. Almost ask the energy to heal. and concentrate, realizing you actually are at this point concentrating energy on that area, right? You can scratch the back of your hand right now, close your eyes and feel that scratch. And now you can feel your breath. You're feeling the breath more than you're feeling that scratch, and you can switch back and forth. That's your moving energy, right? You can charge this energy with intentions. The easiest one is relaxing a muscle. So you can focus on tension in your body, and on the inhale you can breathe into that muscle, and on the exhale you can intend to relax. So intentions go all over the nervous system, all over our entire reality, and you can focus intentions of healing on areas that need healing, because you're providing it with more intelligence, more light. Light is what heals. Light is awareness. It needs to see what it needs to heal to be able to do that. And the intensity of that glow is the intensity of the energy. Just like the sun gives us life, the energy that we create internally from our internal consciousness also gives life and healing. So the Jesus healing powers doesn't seem too crazy when you realize all this guy was doing was increasing the amount of energy coursing through his nervous system and emanating that through his behavior and his teachings. So again, I'm not a big Jesus guy, but I understand that he could have been awakened to these things. There was a science behind it, and we can do that too. So work with your sense of worthiness or deservedness of a beautiful life. Address whatever's in the way. Realize there are hard actions that need to be taken, but those hard actions will be taken in an environment where you are willing to undergo them, instead of one where you feel like you can never achieve or accomplish anything on the other side. You'll be primed, instead of from punishment, encouragement. So, love you lots. Thank you for hanging out. That's me. I'm gonna wave to everybody, and if you stayed for the whole broadcast, or if you stayed for, I don't know, more than 3 minutes, you're an absolute legend. Okay? Thank you so much. It means the world to me, seriously. So, peace, and buy the book if you want. It helps. I'll say bye. Bye, Laura, Flya Garrick, Deadly 666, Bob the Badass, You Are, Swamp Girl, Turdy Kerr, Turdy Kerr, Sean, Dylan, yeah. Uncle Buzz, you a legend too, man. Yeah. Learn love. All right. Campton out. I will see you again.